Hello, 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 YouTube. It is time for us to try this game out. It's called Our Life. And, yeah. Should be interesting. Why is it not configured? Interesting. Don't need to be near the sun to get struck. Annoyingly enough. Oh, yikes. Why is it not... On stream, you can see my cursor, but for some reason you also can't see the game properly? Oh, there we go. Never mind, just had to click it, it's fine. Welcome to Our Life, Beginnings and Always. Oh, okay. Okay. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu to learn about everything in detail. Start off, the game is divided into 4 time periods called steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, young adulthood. And Step 4, adulthood. Oh dear. We gotta go through adolescence again, alright. Oh wait, I have to write that bit. Our life is further divided into sets of vignettes, I think that's how you say that take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. Moments can be played by in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting that summer ending. Summer is ending, okay. DLC some are now out, yeah, okay. Step 4 is an epilogue and doesn't include moments. A lot happens over the years that go by, especially in regard to the character you play. You determine nearly everything about the main character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interests, skills, the relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, phone, eye colour oh no, wait, sorry. Your last name, skin tone, and eye colour can't be altered once set, okay. Much of the MC's basic traits are determined on a character creation screen. As the MC grows up, your options become available on the screen. Okay, as mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type in any name you like, or you can pick a preset name. Preset options are called voiced names because the name will be voiced aloud by the romantic lead. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Ooh! Oh my! Shame, there's no way in heck my name isn't there. That's a shame. But, you know. Fever of 39 Celsius? Celsius? I can speak. Oh, jeez. Get something cold to put on your head. Only the default name Jamie is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting free voice name expansion with DLC. Well, that's fine because ours won't be voiced anyway. The full collection of names is temporary DLC because of how loud it is. If you're not interested in that feature, you don't need to get it. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was selected by someone who supported the project. Oh, that's nice. On the character creation screen, there's a cute doll you can decorate to get an idea of your MC looks with the different traits put together. Not all the things you decide about the MC appear on the doll. The script referring what you've decided for MC is the main way these decisions influence the game. Our life has a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to other character sprites. You only see the MC as the decorative doll in a special cut-in CG images. The cut-in CGs only appear if certain choices are made. It's possible not to see any during your playthrough. Oh, am I gonna lose out? Goddamn. There's also a second type of special MC-based screen, interest comfort screen. Unless you get DLCs, the game has one love interest. Hove. He grows up with the MC, and the interest/comfort screen is crucial for determining how that plays out. Okay. Interest levels set how much you like him. There are 4 levels: disinterest, fond, crush, love. Love is only available starting in step 3, and if you're at fond or crush in step 2. Okay. So if it's just disinterest, we just essentially lose as well. Comfort determines how you generally react, think when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest comfort near the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level can only stay the same or increase. Your current level of interest will become the new lowest option on the screen in the future. For example, if you decide to be fond in step 1, this interest will not be available on the screen in steps 2 and 3, which will make fond the bottom level option for your relationship. Okay. Interest level hasn't... This is a lot of rules. Lack of AC in school and chronic illness. Bruh. They need to start putting ACs in schools and buildings in general. Just give us AC. Fuck, especially with the amount of heat waves we're getting. Good lord. Interest level has an impact when it comes to physically interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and have a close relationship, you can choose to touch him, and Cove will occasionally interact with the MC in light-hearted or comforting ways. But starting in step 3, touching can become more romantic or suggestive if you're at crush or love. To make sure things go nicely with that, there will be an extra choice to determine initiative level and a bonus mini tutorial that goes with the choice of explaining the feature in more detail. Basically, even if you decide you like Cove, the game won't force you to act on those feelings. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. See, I like the support going on in chat right now. It's a good community. It's making me emotional. You can always choose not to get together with him, choose not to accept or give romantic gestures. Jesus, I can speak. Etc. If you do decide to date Cove, though, you can't break up with him later. Oh, you are trapped, essentially. Oh dear. Interest as comfort gets the basics down, but it's the choices that appear throughout the normal game events that decide what actually happened between the MC and Cove. And it isn't only the MC who is impacted by your decisions. Cove grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences helps shape who he becomes. In step 2 and step 3, Cove's personality, appearance, and interests will vary based on what happened in the previous step. It's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions end up changing him. You can try to guess as you play along. Or if you prefer, you can also just design your own ideal Cove directly using the Cove Creator option that pops up at the beginning of steps 2 and 3. Bruh. Making the choices you want is always more important than making a choice because you feel like you have to in order to get a certain result. Yes! Preach it! Preach it, game, preach it! You come first! No matter what anyone says, no matter whatever the world tells you, no matter what, you come first. In anything. Put yourself first because you need to care for you. Above all else, you can't do anything else if you don't care for you. You want to take care of your friend, but you put that above your own health, so you end up being unable to do so? Case in point, put you first. If you and your friend are ill at the same time, don't then go over to them and help them get better. Get better first, and then go help if they're still ill. This is the point. You come first. Anyway, I didn't realise I'd gone a tangent in the tutorial. But here we are. When a choice does appear, usually you'll see that hovering the cursor over an option shows a certain colour, yellow, blue or green. The colours aren't related to specific points or effects, they're only there to give a bit of insight on the tone emotion of the choice, since text alone can potentially be read in more than one way. Blue tends to be casual, straightforward, yellow more emotive, reactive, and green less certain, uncommitted. Though there are hundreds of options in our life, and not every choice menu falls in line with that pattern. That could be said about real life as well. Picking just one colour every time doesn't give a gameplay benefit, only sticking to a certain type if that's what you want to happen, like otherwise switch between them freely. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow, pursue romance right from the start, never romance the love interest, be disagreeable or amiable. None of them will lead to a bad ending. Okay. Is this also a metaphor for life? In that no matter what you do, as long as you believe in it, that's not a bad ending? I don't know. You're welcome to enjoy the events and shape of the story without reservation, and then, if you like, you can play again to try something new. There's only ever more good content to discover. We hope you'll have a nice time with our life. Thank you for playing. Oh, that's nice. Oh! Ah! Nice. I have a round face. A round face. Oh god, that's so pale. We'll go peach. I like those eyes, actually. Can I be purple? Can I have purple? Well, they've got some... Yep, they've got some majestic colours. Let's see what they... Yeah, just go purple. Oh yeah. Hi, Charlie! How you doing? Welcome on in. So many options. Ooh. That'd be good if it was flipped. Oh, wait, hold up. That works. Yeah, let's go. There we go. Change page. Let's go. Yes, this is my first time playing. Oh, cute glasses. I got chubby little hands. Chubby little hands. Oh. Oh, yes, rosy cheeks, because that's cute. Okay. Oh, okay. No birthmarks, no scars. Well, I suppose a hat could be cute. Oh, that's done. Nice. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of a schoolless vacation with it. I think my brain just shut off mid-sentence. During the summer, your mums didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighbourhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mum called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Aww! Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. Oh, okay. You didn't really get why they always said hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyway. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back. Most of the other residents agreed with you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. Yep. Anxious. That me. They still smiled at you anyway, and that made you feel a little more comfortable. Aww. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person, or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognise really, really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your mum calls it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. I'll be going, have fun. Alright, Ari, good night. Or good evening, good day. Whatever it is where you are. Have a good day, night. Yeah. Thanks for coming. My brain is mush. Your mum's had to talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. Oh! Wait, my mum's? Wait, I have two mums. Whoa. Just like real life. Your big sister Lizzie. I don't have a big sister. I have a big brother. But this is okay. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite. It's okay to talk to some people. You weren't sure about this man yet. You only felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door, but you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you didn't want to be bothered. I would have been scared. I would have been scared, I'll be honest. I'd be like, move? Question mark? You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met and you took in a shaky breath, your eyes dart into the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump. But still, you didn't look at him. Yep. Mood. The bird landed on top of a nearby gatepost, and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Oh no. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Oh no! Run! 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 Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms instead. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. Yep. Mood. Do you live around here? What's your name? My name is Get the fuck away from me. You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. I live right there, my name is says. You continue to say nothing. I live here. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favour? No. Nothing bad, sorry, I should have... Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepy. Yes. I have a son, his name is Cove, who's about your age. Cove, that sounds like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy is definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. Yep, he's obsessed with water. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic "For Sale" sign was finally gone. You must be Saz, right? I met your mums earlier and they told me you were 8, so just like him, so... He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Why are you trying to pay me to befriend your son? What? Get away from me. You freak me out, man. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You kind of felt sorry for Cove, you eyed the man. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for friendship? Yeah. Had your mums done that for you and Lizzie? The thought made you frown. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? Took the bill, you didn't want the money, you ran away. I didn't want the money. No thank you, sorry. You deflated enough to notice, but not completely. Are you sure? It wouldn't be so bad, even if it's just for the summer, that'd be enough. It only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he took the bill back into his pocket and changed the request. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved? Yes, you'd have to ask my mum, so you didn't answer them. Do not answer. Oh, all the colours. Ooh, okay. Yeah, sure, you can do that. His smile got bigger again, his eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with neighbours today, but, well, I don't know why he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss him. Sure thing, I can try. Okay, okay. Okay. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends, you knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away and said, thank you. I would have bit it. I would have ran or bit it or both. Your mums are already checking around for me. It's such a thoughtful group you are. Now I'd better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought you might come back and that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Saz. So much. He jogged off down the street without another word. He decided to check the hills behind your house. Hey. Hey, Cove. I met your dad. He likes water. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean as you walked. You listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves. Didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. Tell me about it. Bruh. I have always loved the ocean, and I also like the merfolk and sea serpents. Which one do I pick? I'll pick the stories, that's fun. Sometimes you could always convince yourself you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try and relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Oh, there he is. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. But was he? I mean, he's pretty big. To be hiding in the grass and flowers. I don't know. I don't know about that one. His head was buried in his knees and staring ahead of himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, pink cast, sad frowns. Pink cast. But this new boy did. You wondered how he got it. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. Oh, and he's turned to look. Oh, run away! Human interaction! Ah! And then he glanced away. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him, and show you weren't scary. Hi. Hey, Space Cadet. You lost? Hi. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. Okay, why are you crying, though? He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts. and his eyes were still shining with a few more. He'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier said stuck out to you. Cove? Ah. Eyes wide, he studied you. How do you know that? I'm all-knowing. Yes. That's a lie. Tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were. Oh, why did you sound depressed? Do you not like your dad? So, is this your hill? Gestured with the uninjured arm to the path of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. I'll just shake my head. While doing so, you also picked up the strand of lint in your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. Sat back down with a thumb, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the path of grass next to him with the odd dad. I mean, trying to pay someone to befriend your child is pretty odd. I'll give you that. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it travelled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why'd your family move? Quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Uh-oh, I have a feeling it's mother-related. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. Oh Lord. My parents. They didn't want to live together with me anymore. Oh, okay, divorce. Okay. That's better than what I was thinking. Tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mum made my dad leave and he took me with him, and now we have a house here and I want to go home. Wait, you made him leave? That's suspicious. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mum. I do want my mum. I'm sorry. Your dad seemed kinda nice. You'll like it here. You just have to get used to it. Stop crying. I'm sorry. Slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed the fingers against his eyelids. Both wound himself up again for another long crying fit. Felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. Couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your mums, but it must be pretty hard. Not anymore. After a few years, you'll be alright. But from the way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Zaz! Oh, okay. I don't have to read that. Kids, where did you go? I like how I've got mum and mummy. I like mummy the best. Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. Aww. You can handle it. You have to go. Don't worry so much. Sorry, I have to. It will be okay. Yeah, it'll be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not-bandaged arm.
Sorry.
I still don't want to go. You called out yourself. You waited silently with him. You tried to convince him. I'll wait silently. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud! Oh, The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and the rushed over. Do I not get to see my parents? Would it be okay to turn the volume up a bit? Yeah, sure. How's that? And that up. I don't know why it's not, to be honest. Is that okay? Oh, I can't see. Whoa! Whoa, my mums are hot. Thanks, perfect. Excellent. Both of your mums were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Saz, you're here after all! We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbour. Thought you might have gone off further away. No, we were just sitting in the grass. Why is everyone acting like this is such a big thing? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. We're okay. Yes, babes! I can understand why they fell for each other. Damn! Damn! Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? I mean, fun is a choice word. You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. You shrugged. Yes, I like him. Aww. He's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. You nodded, smiling slightly. Oh, that's wonderful. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Did he hear that? Please tell me he heard that.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Saz knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
Okay, bye. I would have loved if there was a huge reaction like, wait, what? Wait, what did you just say? Like, wait, what? You? Who was trying to run away from human interaction? You just did what? Oh, Jesus. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Just focused in on them. Like, how did you get that? Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, could I show him my stuff? It sounds like words. You're not ducking your head now. It sounds like words. Sarcasm. Excellent. Both of your mums laughed, the sound overlapping into warm, familiar chorus. Mummy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Wait, which one's mum and which one's mummy? Because, I mean, they're both pretty mummy to me. Haha. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Oh, use your feelings for Cove. Okay. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in later steps. Okay. I mean, right now I'm indifferent. Because he's just sort of... Actually, no, we'll go fond, because I feel kind of bad for him. You know? Oh. Aw, that's such a cute expression. Nervous. Yeah. Yep. Nervous and fond. Alright. Good combo. You won't be able to change it again until step 2. Yes. Achievement, let's go. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finished your food faster than usual. Look at this house, dude. This is clean. Can I have this in real life? Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you did, Bug. Today, just like your mum had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Hello. Excited to see your new friend again, says? He nodded, smiling slightly. Oh, I got another achievement. I'm nervous.
How sweet.
I'm so happy he moved in. I'm assuming this is Mummy then, considering her face changed as she spoke. Why are you staring at me like this? You look like you're about to grab a knife. You look like you're about to end me. Good lord. Are they retro or am I just poor? A little from column A, a little from column B.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Oh. Yeah. Haha, I don't know. Am I? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. I don't know. Am I? I couldn't help it. I can't help it. Anytime there's a gremlin answer, I'm gonna pick it. It's just how it's gonna go. You gestured down to the empty dish in front of you, raising your eyebrows dramatically.
Okay.
Okay, we see. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't really sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Baz, could you get it? No. I am a nervous 8-year-old. I do not want Gremlin Cove. Here we go. Hell yeah. All of us need to be gremlins. Wiggling out of your chair without really pushing it back, you made your way to the door. Yeah, no, that as a child, that would have been me. Can confirm. Hey, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your mums have called him, and his son were here. Mr. Holden, are you going to teach math? Cove looked different in the bright lighting of your living room. And when he wasn't crying. I mean, yeah, that would help. Do they not have a different wardrobe? In the same clothes. With his dad standing in front of him, and Mum and Mummy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again, you smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Aww, that's a cute little face. Look at that face. Aww. You want to see my room?
Okay.
Oh, he sounds tired, bro. Can we just go take a nap? I'll build a fort. You just fall asleep. It's all good.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. No. Penguin! Just a penguin! And a sheep! Sheep! Oh, I like to draw. Yes, this is accurate. Yeah, this is very accurate. You head into your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There are lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, a window to look out. Yeah. Literally me. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. You leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Oh, thank you. I'm an artiste. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. I don't. Oh. Thank you. You're welcome. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. You started to feel a bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your Yep. No. You had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You hoped he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on the tiny box of beach things you'd collected, tucked away by your door. Is that what this is? He took a step towards it before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? All the stuff I found at the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. Yeah! Yeah! Driftwood! Woo! You gestured to a piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
This is a good collection. Thank you. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice, or to be like, Shiloh. He actually meant it. Who is Shiloh, and why do I already want to slap him? Ah, Shiloh is coming over. Shiloh? My sister's friend. He wants to, meet you. Do I have to see him? It'll be okay, I think. Yeah, I found this shell in the log, and you pulled out a seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one and holding them up against the light. He's so, look at him, he's so cute and soft. Aww. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. Ooh! Ooh, I like that idea! I am smart. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell for all of them. Oh, I kind of like that one though. Your voice faltered a bit, but you kept going as best you could. Aww. Oh, I like all of them, but this one is the most accurate. Actually, no, wait, this one's... These two are too accurate. Maybe if I just close my eyes and click on... Shiloh. Why are you crying? Why are you crying for Shiloh? Oh no, is something gonna happen? Oh no. Yeah, there's no way I would have done this as a child. Especially an 8-year-old, so this one is crossed off, that's not. We'll go with the funny stories. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or by the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like the full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience to be the centre of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. No. No thanks. I'm having the fun. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mummy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right that telling Cove his dad was part would be a bad idea. Oh no. If he finds out, is he going to be pissed? Oh dear. Before you knew it, you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. Two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Great, okay, but be careful. You should have asked. Great! Bust it open. We can keep looking while we wait for Sheila. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. That's my favourite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. You know what? Yeah, you can have it. Duh. Friendship. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Yeah, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. You let it go. I insist. No, it's okay for you. Pushed the shell against Cove's chest, willing him to receive the present, but Cove firmly shook his head and kept his arm tightly at his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win. At least not today. Cove is your neighbour now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. Aww! But I wanted to give him it. It was so cute how excited he got. Two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Both jumped, startled by the sound. Wait, we got a doorbell in the past, like, not 5 minutes. It would have been, like, 30 minutes. Bruh. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Sheila. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? He nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feeling wells. Wells? Oh. Mental breakdown. Anyway, you could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. I'm sorry, there's nowhere to go. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Oh god! He'll find you. He will. No matter what you do, he will find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. What window? Those are just panes of glass. That's a wall. Stop! He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward and then paused. Do you want to break your other arm? Sheila is the least scary person alive. Cheer up, Sheila's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea, let's go! Yeah, good idea, let's go! Hurry, they'll see where we're going. Glanced back at you, then nodded. Two of you made your way to the window together. Hell yeah! Breaking out! There wasn't much of a distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed gently in the bushes, you looked up to see that Cove was already taking off away from the house. He was fast, but you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He's not that fast, you knew you could outrun him if you had to. Oh, so this one's just like, I can beat him. And this one's like, it's okay, I could catch up, it's fine. He was not that fast, but neither were you. At that speed, you weren't sure if you could go fast enough to reach it. Yeah, this one's accurate. Cove, I'm coming! Ah! Wait up! Ah! You ran as fast as your legs would take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you did so. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know, somewhere else. I just don't want to see... Stairs! Oh, fuck, he found us. Cove will come. And he will find you. Alright. You looked back and saw Sheila hopping down the hill after you, the backpack he clutched bouncing all around along the way. What are you doing? Can I come? He must have seen you leaving out the window and followed behind.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Are you How old is my sister? I thought she was my older sister. This kid looks like 4. This kid's like fucking 4. There is no way. Unless my sister babysits him. And what? You come?
Yeah.
Aw. I'm Sheila. Okay. Yep, are we going back, or are we gonna play outside? He is covered in freckles, and that's kind of adorable. But it also kind of looks like he's just tripped over and gone face first into the sand. No offense. Sheila's eyes moved between you and Cove. The smile remained strong on his face. He got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running away. Inside, we left the box on the floor. Yeah, I wanted to check. I hope Mummy didn't move them.
Okay.
Oh, he's kind of cute, though. Not gonna lie, he's kind of cute. With Sheila trailing behind you and Cove headed back towards the house. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially if Cove was having fun. You held out a recent find to Cove, a scallop shell that had washed up on shore. It's a pretty colour, kinda like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice colour. Okay. He doesn't like Sheila. You've just met, come on now. Be a little nicer. Good lord.
Oh?
Is it your favourite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue. Might be yellow. Been thinking orange. Maybe red. No. Purple? Black. Anything that isn't pink. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
He's got a real attitude to him. Actually, how long until this becomes a Yander again? How long until he goes, no, I will kill everyone? How long until Cove snaps, essentially, is what I'm asking. I like those colours too. There are better colours. Not sure how to deal with this suddenly more awkward silence. She looks back at your shells. I like those colours too.
Awesome.
Yeah! Colours! Whoop! Both of them smiled. Yeah! Friendship! Like usual, it didn't take long for Sheila to get fidgety. And Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Oh, wait, it double clicked. I don't know what I said. Wait, can I go back? Oh, I can't go back. Oh, sad. Oh, wait, no, wait, log. That's it, right? Don't know. Oh, okay. Nice. Aw. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach. Probably. She playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yeah. Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before he had even answered, and Sheila jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Saz? The park is fun. I don't want to go anywhere. Home is safe. Home is nice. Home is safe. Home is nice. I love it. The park is pretty great. No. Yeah, it's pretty great. Why not? Why not? I could be just a nervous mess. No. No, no, no. I have to turn my light on. It is very dark all of a sudden. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. There's lots of stuff to do and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. Oh, it sounds kind of sick, actually. That sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just wanted to check the park out. At least he's honest. He's got that going for him. He's good and honest. Adrift without any direction, Sheila finally turned to you. Are we going to the park or not? Jesus. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your mums, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your mums that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie! Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Saz! Sheila! Hi! She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Sheila had abandoned you two and scrambled over sand to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove was here. You wondered if he would leave too. Oh! Damn! My sister's cute! You're gonna be real pretty when you grow up. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. Why is it her park? Has she just decided that it's her park? Is that what it is? She gestured widely with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took a chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My mum said you're Saz's age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about the other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Sheila is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh, jeez. She's one of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Welcome to my life, bro. For a second it looked like he might cry again, but something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like mums and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying stuff like that. You're going to upset him. Yeah, they're really bad. Yeah, you're going to upset him. Shut up. He interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't even seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Sheila was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. Yep, sounds about right. I met Lizzie and Saz in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Sheila looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove, yeah. But Cove seemed pretty cold to, like, everyone. He likes the shells. Let's find some seashells. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Sheila's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was. At something else entirely you didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird, Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. Ooh, You offered him a small smile at that. At least look to reassure him some. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Sheila, and on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way sun and lunch and the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. Oh? No, I want the ghost! RIP! Select a moment. Fireflies.
Alright.
Tonight we're gonna catch fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese. Hell yeah, mac and cheese. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew there was bound to be a ton of them around. Locked once a DLC. Yeah, I think I saw that. RIP though. I want to see the ghost. Oh, you are you? Yeah. You started eating faster. You looked over at your mum's. You pushed your food around your plate. I'm gonna look at mum's. They hadn't answered for sure yet, but if that's what Lizzie said you'd do, that's probably what you'd end up doing. Lizzie was an expert at getting her way, having mastered the art of it by the time she could talk. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we come? Oh, can we? No, that was Sheila. I thought that was the parents. Okay. Can we? Sheila tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Sheila to still be here. Like always, his mum had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. She does not look impressed. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your mums know she'd be late. You didn't hear why, probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Sheila longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your mums to agree.
Wow.
It's already dark out there. Lizzie gave Mum the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited for the response.
There.
Let them go. Nice that this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mum eventually sighed and nodded back. Oh, they gonna what? Not gonna lie, Cove reminds me of my younger self. I could say that. Do you also have aqua green hair? Yes! Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay?
Duh.
Duh, Mum. That's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you. I mean, I can see one through the window. I can see two through the window. Like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mummy reads sometimes. Lizzie and Sheila started digging into their food, and it soon became a race to see who could finish their dinner first. Aren't you excited to go outside and play, Saz? You gave a non-committal shrug. Saz is just mad because I always catch the most. Lizzie boasted proudly, her mouth full of food, and Mum gave her a stern look. Elizabeth. A knock on the door interrupted Mum before she could no doubt scold our sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. You shifted in your seat to try and get a glimpse of the unexpected guest. I have a feeling... I was about to say, I have a feeling I know exactly who it is. Just gonna put that out there. Good evening, Cove. Your mummy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Sheila's flappy hat. A big smile stretched across your face. When you lifted your hand and waved, Cove's pink cast went up to return it shortly after. It didn't matter why he was there. It meant he could join you all in catching fireflies. Then for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mummy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. No, don't leave. Come back. I don't want to be the third wheel again. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver out from his large side pocket, eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Yo, what the hell? Lizzie was trying to kick him out. Bruh. Lizzie, you saboteur. I'm gonna break your glass of fireflies. Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and Mum stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here, alright? Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remained on the ground. Mummy closed the door behind him. Hi, Cove. Sheila gave Cove a friendly smile, while waving by, holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. At least he nodded. He's getting better with Sheila. Are you going to catch fireflies with us? You could come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure what to say now. You could come outside with us. From the corner of your eye, you could see Lizzie glaring at you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider. Ew! Lizzie, how dare you? Hatred in this economy? I don't think so. Trying not to meet her gaze, you looked at Cove. Whatever Lizzie thought of him, he wasn't exactly a stranger anymore. I mean, yeah. Kind of spent a lot of summer days together, you know? We're gonna catch fireflies on the hill out back. You said that with a smile, hoping Cove would want to come.
Yeah.
I can do that. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies went out when he first moved in, and there must not have been anywhere he used to live. But words fail me. Impressively so. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Both stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? Eggs. Wait, just eggs? Wait, what do you mean eggs? The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Sheila from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. The phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mum came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay for a little while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it's too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun! This will be so nice. I like Mummy. She's a very nice person. I'm getting the feeling Mummy is she's the relaxed one, and Mum is the I will shut you down if I have to. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. The traitor. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Sheila trailed so closely after Lizzie, he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. You smiled lightly at Cove, gesturing for him to follow. After a moment, He did.
Bye.
Bye, children. Okay, bye. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Sheila by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get further and further away. Hurry
up!
You're so slow, Saz. We don't have all night. Why just me? Why are you singling me out, huh? Huh? Bitch. Lizzie seems a bit stuck up, not gonna lie. He's giving me Angelica vibes from Rugrats. Now, I'm the oldest, thus I am the best. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. You're not gonna come, you tugged him along, you walked with him, you waved at him to hurry, you ran off. No, I'm not leaving him. I'll walk with him. You fall behind, sliding up next to him, matching his stride. He noticed right away.
It's okay.
You can go ahead if you want. You smile and shake your head. After a short while, the two of you reach the hill behind the house. Whoa, look at all these fireflies! For a second there, I thought they'd react to my mouse, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. The fireflies were out in full force, floating in the breeze, their gentle glow winking in and out and creating an almost magical effect. Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Sheila was spinning in circles somewhere around in the middle. Wow. Sheila took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hey guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. Firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Oh my god, that's cute. Oh my god. Sheila couldn't help but giggle. You and Sheila couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on. You shooed the bug away. Look at it giggle. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? He gestured to his head and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped and followed after the glow. Oh look, Lizzie has one. That's amazing. Sheila ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. These poor fireflies are about to be terrorized by these kids. You had a bandage on your thumb and you tried to be cautious of that. You had a bandage on your palm and you tried to be cautious of that. You had two bandages on your hand and you tried to be cautious of that. You could have not getting cuts or scratches, so you weren't worried about that. I'm going to be entirely honest, I'm a clumsy fuck. I have two bad bandages. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth. Yeah, no, that's accurate. That as well. Crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. Firefly landed in your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Oh, that's so cute! Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Oh no, okay. I thought I'd read it wrong for a second. Cove watched it vanish into the thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had. You made a joke about what happened. You did your own thing. That's rude! Don't make a joke about it. That's so harsh. You got this, dude. You walked up beside him and gave him an encouraging smile. Did you catch one? You nodded and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insects still crawling around your palm. You held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotised by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he sat. This is getting very romantic for 8-year-olds. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. You stayed very still. You pulled your hand back. You stayed very still. I would have just locked up and like, oh. You were so nervous you thought you stopped breathing, but no matter what you did, you didn't want to scare the shiny treasure. Oh, I see. I have blisters on my hands. The firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up into Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked! Yeah, you go on! Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Saz. With a laugh, he gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward lo-fi. Hell! Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your firefly was gone. Aww.
Sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. That's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right, bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. Decide to sit on the grass and watch, decide to collect more. Collect more. Let's go for it. We can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. Hell yeah. We'll get a bunch. With renewed vigour, you ran into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first you tried to keep up a tally of how many you'd caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. But there's 2 of us. That's 20 fingers. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Taz, this way! Oh yeah. You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms out in front of him, reaching with his fingers and only narrowly missing his target. What? Me? Christ, I can't speak. Anyway. Cove and you took turns trying to scare off fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learnt, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. That's good. It was an overall huge success, with the both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually the fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily and his face seemed really flushed. Aww! That was fun. A lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
That's Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard. Off guard? Help! That word was not... Was that English? I don't... Off guard is what I meant to say. It had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Sheila. Glanced over to see them both standing on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning you with the quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye you saw Cove was coming as well. You didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi.
Cove.
Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill, you could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. You frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it?
I guess.
Aww. Fuck you, I'm not racing. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else be the referee, but it was already decided. I'll stay with Cove. Fuck you.
Really?
Why? You don't have to. It's okay, I want to watch. You moved beside him on the top of the hill even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We only need one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refused to budge and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Fine, I'll be the winner, whether you join or not. Well, I mean, Sheila looks like he has the tiniest legs available and you're like 10, 11, 12 possibly. I think you've got this. Lizzie moved to lay down and Sheila did the same. Both stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point and you stood next to him. Countdown! Both stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Sheila took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speeds towards the bottom of the hill. This sounds very unsafe. Is someone going to die tonight? I hope not. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck until about halfway down the hill, Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Sheila a huge advantage. Yeah, Sheila! Let's go, Sheila! She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and as soon as Sheila reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back down into the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stomped out of the bush she had ended up in, spluttering angrily and brushing leaves out from the front of her dress. Not bad, you got lucky. Let's do it again, see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel a little bit chilly as you made your way into the hills. Out of the hills, even, not into the hills. We were already in the hills. But the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighbourhood street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught them off. Fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Oh, so these are... I can pick all of them. I thought I had to pick between one of them. Okay. Well, obviously we have to pick all of them. We have to see all of it. Come back before it gets dark. Alright, Spot? A familiar voice drifted across the street and drew your attention away from the snail you'd been watching inch slowly across the pavement. Yo, why is that such a me thing to do? Cove waited in front of his dad, pushing his green hair back out of his face from where the breeze was blowing it over his glasses. He looked to be paying only a mild amount of attention as he was being handed a few slips of green paper. It reminded you of when you'd first met Mr. Holden, although he's probably not paying Cove to be friends with himself. Imagine if he was, though. He was like, yo kid, you don't like yourself enough. Here's some money. You like yourself now. Cove's dad seemed to feel your gaze somehow, or maybe you had made a noise, because a second later his eyes were on you. He waved you over with a smile. He looked happy to see you, but you still felt a little weird for getting caught. You've got to learn how to be more sneaky. You brushed your hands together to free them of sand, then jogged over to join the two. And smiled at Cove first, and then his dad. Yeah, you come second, Mr. Holden. Yeesh. Yeesh. Oh dear. Daz, hi! Hey, Cove.
How's it going?
Good to see you again. What excitement are you up to today, Saz? I was watching a snail. Nothing. Totally wasn't watching a snail. Why can't I just tell him? Just tell him I was watching a snail. It's fine. I'm a child. I'm allowed to do it too. You toed the pavement in front of you. It would be nice to tell them about the snail you found, but you didn't know if they liked snail. That's such an interesting thing to be worried about. Yo, you like snail? Nah. Oh, Jesus. After you finished answering the question, Mr. Holden's attention returned to Cove, who was preoccupied with folding the bills he had into a tiny rectangle. Sounds fun. It does? You weren't sure about that. You know, Cove was about to hit the stores by the beach. Why don't you go with him? You gave a ready nod, turning to squint in the direction of the stores like you could see the goods they had to offer all the way from where you stood. Yep, food. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Great, I'm sure you guys will have loads of fun. Mr. Holden reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather wallet filled with money. You found it odd since your mum's never really ever seemed to have cards in theirs. Only ever seemed to have cards in theirs. I love Cove, I swear to God. Yeah, kinda. We're getting attached. This is what's happening, chat. We're getting attached to Cove. I'm sensing we immediately go for the... At step 3, we go for the interest route. We are romancing. Here. He leaned in to pass a crisp 10 to Cove, giving him a wink and whisper. Get something for your friend, too. This is inappropriate. Sure.
Good kid.
That's my boy. Cove's dad ruffled his son's hair as he was straightening back up, the bill in his hand still held out towards the green-haired boy. Take care. Does that mean his mum has green hair? Because I kind of want to see that. I'm gonna lie. Cove accepted the bill after a second and slipped it into his pocket. Then with one last nod to his dad, he turned and started walking. He followed after him, intrigued at the possibilities this outing might bring. Oh, and then we were on the beach. A very lovely looking beach, gonna be honest. Cove strayed towards the gentle tide creeping up the sand, and you fell into place beside him. It was a nice day. The sun was shining, and there weren't many clouds in the sky, though the wind coming off the ocean kept it from being too hot. You took in a deep breath, enjoying the scent of salt in the ocean air. When you looked at Cove, he was dragging his feet through the sand a little, and you slowed down to wait for him. His eyes searched the ground intently. You looking for snails? Looking for shells? What is it? You didn't feel the need to ask why. Do we ask him, chat? I don't know if I want to ask him. I feel like it's good just not to say. But maybe we do ask him. Do we ask him about the shell? You know what? Yeah, let's ask him about the shells. Cove startled a little at the sound of your voice and mumbled it, sort of. If you see anything, you can let me know. Yeah, sure did. Just let me get my binoculars out. You can manage that. You dropped your view to the sand, walking carefully so you didn't step on any. You were good at finding shells. You had a lot of them at home, and always found new ones whenever you visited the beach. The comforting sound of the waves filled the silence with pleasant white noise, and you played a little game with yourself as you walked along, getting as close to the water as possible without getting. You'll get to meet his mom someday? Ooh, interesting. Resulted in you having to run up the sand quickly when a wave rushed in more than a few times, and although Cove threw a few glances your way, he didn't say a word. You didn't either. What did you want to go shop for? What did you usually do on the beach? I didn't either. He seemed altogether too invested in the floor to pay attention. You decided to watch the waves as they inched closer and closer to your feet instead. Oh, what did you find? Abruptly, Cove stopped, then moved briskly ahead a few steps. What is it? Without a word, he bent down, picking something up half buried in the sand. You hurried nearer, curiously glancing over his shoulder. It was a shell, lightly pink at the bottom and bleached white at the top. Oh, that's cute. Wow, so you found what you were looking for. Cove got back up, turning to find his find over in his hands before unbuttoning one of the many pockets in his pants and sliding it inside. I pick up anything that's kind of cool. This is what I got this time.
So...
What about you? What do you do out here? I don't come to the beach a lot. I like swimming. I like looking at fish. I like to build sandcastles. Nothing. I like swimming. Cove's lips curled up in a small smile. Me too. It's occurred to you that you hadn't been swimming in a while. There was just so much to do before school started up again, and so little time. Once you reached the shopping area, the noise level grew exponentially. No longer just waves and footsteps, but the chatter of people enjoying the lovely summer day, the call of birds trying to find bits of food left behind, and lots of salespeople trying to get attention. You sniffed the air as you walked beside Cove. You could still smell the ocean, but there were other scents now too. Pizza, pretzels, hot donuts. It was nice. It was not very nice. It was alright. I do like food. It was nice. The energy surrounding the area seemed to fill you, and there was a bounce in your step as you began looking at all the familiar sights. There were so many things to do, you didn't know where to begin. You looked at Cove, hoping he was just as excited as you. Cove was glancing from one side of the street to the other with a look in his aquamarine eyes that you couldn't quite work out. What's that? Cove pointed to a large crowd of people gathered near a few tables with large colourful umbrellas blooming from their middles. You couldn't see past the adults who were blocking the way, but you knew there must be something worth seeing. Without another word, the two of you hurried over to see what all the commotion was about. Feast your eyes on the amazing Alexander! In the centre of the crowd was a man with a tall hat and a funny green coat that had 3 long tails. There was a little table next to him with a cloth hanging over it that read Amazing Alexander in glittery golden script. Why tell people his name if it's already on a sign? Better. Cove hummed with understanding, then turned to walk away just as the amazing Alexander began shuffling a deck of cards. You bit your lip, reluctantly starting to follow after Cove again. You continued looking over your shoulder, however, wanting to see as much as you could before you got too far away. Hey, not watching where you were going, you proved to be a bad idea as you bumped right into Cove. Oh, sorry. Did you want to stay or something? If that's okay. He briefly lifted his arms up off his sides before returning them into place. You could have said so. With that, it began. The magic man pulled one card out of the deck, showing it to the curious onlookers. There's a 4 of diamonds. Watch closely. You did, squeezing through a few of the adult onlookers to get a better view. Suddenly, the man snapped his fingers and the card just disappeared. Oh! The amazing Alexander, who had earned his title, turned his head and looked directly at you. He reached out with a kind smile. What's this behind your ear? Nothing, tell me, you backed away. Nothing? It was true, you didn't keep anything now. Yeah. He smelled like popcorn and candy when he stepped closer, and you wrinkled your nose in confusion as you watched him. You felt a tug, and then he pulled the 4 diamonds from behind your ear. What? You knew that it couldn't really have come from your ear, but you still didn't get how he'd done it. There was a light applause from the crowd, and the man gave a deep bow. This is for you. The magician plucked a pair of balloons from a clump of them tied down to his table. Both were in the shape of a dolphin instead of being a normal circle. And one for your friend too. Thank you for being my assistant. Wow. Now you're really grateful he chose you. After that, he went to someone else in the crowd. Pick a card, any card. My uncle does that every time he visits. Not the balloons, the stuff with the cards. Oh, so he just does not care. Clove spoke plainly while reaching over to take the dolphin that had been designated for him. Maybe it wasn't so special. Clove is just ruining the fun. At least you had a fun time. You wondered if Cole's whole family was magic. Yeah. If so, he was lucky. The crowd started to play some, and you noticed the side there was a whole rack of brightly coloured kaleidoscopes on display. You picked up a kaleidoscope. You picked up a Rubik's Cube. You picked up a magic 8-ball. You walked past the... Who walks past the toys? I picked up an 8-ball. Oh. You shifted your balloon string to the other hand so you could hold it up in front of you. Then you thought of a question in your mind, shaking the ball and hearing some kind of liquid slosh around inside. Once you had given it a good shake, you held it upright, waiting for the answer to appear. Concentrate and ask again. You wrinkled your nose and set the magic 8-ball back on the rack. It wasn't the answer you were hoping for. You followed Cove around to the other side of the stall. He went under the awning, careful of his own floating dolphin, and you joined him. Do you have places like this in your old town? You having fun? I don't really like it here. You said nothing. You said nothing. You stood in silence for a few moments, waiting for Cove to do something. Oh dear. When he finally moved towards some stalls nearby, you followed behind him. Oh! While Cove looked at sand pails, you were drawn to a table with colourful keychains laid out on it. They were sewn in the shape of sea creatures, and there was a plaque that read "Handmade" standing proudly in front. Oh, they're cute! I want a shark. Give shark. There were lots of different types. You saw dolphin, shark, crab, turtle. Not the shark. Give me the shark. Your hand stopped on the shark, a devious smirk filled with sharp teeth on his face. You weren't supposed to go near sharks in real life, but there was something about this shark you liked, and the fabric on its back was soft when you picked it up. You were instantly enamoured. Checking the price though, your heart fell. $6. You didn't know much about money, but you thought that was a lot to spend on one thing. I mean, it's handmade though, so that is fair. That's actually quite cheap for handmade. You rarely had more than $5 a $5 bill on him. Is that what you want? Huh? Oh, it's $6. I didn't bring any money.
Alright.
It's fine. Wait, what? Really? Really? You sure? Hooray! You don't have to. I don't want you to get it for me. Well, it's none of these. Don't have to. I don't want you to get it. You don't have to. The other one sounds like I'm like, I don't want you to do it. I will do it. One day. Cove didn't mind that. He took the keychain from your hands and that was that. He was holding a small yellow bucket for himself too. I was always gonna get you something. I already got the money for it. You were a little nervous but happy with your purchase nonetheless. It was nice of Cove's dad to let Cove buy something for you too. After Cove paid, the two of you stepped out of the store side by side, your balloon dolphins knocking together and spiraling around in the air. They're dancing! Beautiful! You watched Cove hold up his new pill to his face, examining it thoroughly. Hey, Cove. Yeah? Does your dad always give money like that? Thanks for getting me it. Nothing. Thanks for getting me it. It's alright. It wasn't clear if you really knew how much you appreciated it. What? You were going to thank him for the keychain, but instead just shook your head, smiling. Cove raised an eyebrow, but didn't push the issue. Cove looked further down the street, where different food carts were lined up. He rested what is words? Help! He rested his non-cast arm over his stomach, and just as you did, yours let out a light growl. You hadn't eaten since breakfast, and after all of this wandering around, you were definitely ready for some lunch. Let's get some food. Yeah. You two wandered around for a short while, looking at all the delicacies that were available. Everything looked delicious, and as the different smells, both sweet and salty, wafted over you, your stomach growled even louder. Don't check the family tree on Discord? Why? What have you done? What have you done, Dark? After passing up hot dogs, snow cones, ice cream and pizza, you both agreed on pretzels. Both got something sweet and cinnamony, and you? Plain got one with cheese. Ew! With cheese? With sprinkles, one chocolate. Just say chocolate. Fuck you. You licked your lips hungrily as the vendor handed your pretzel over, ready to take a big bite. It had tiny marshmallows on it. Oh, yes! And it was dripping with chocolate, just how you liked. Oh, yeah. Wait, you ain't on the family tree anymore, so never mind. Am I not? Oh, I've been disowned. I had to think of the word, but oh god. Your mums didn't like you to eat too much sugar, but this was a special occasion. You found an empty table close enough to the beach that the grit of the sand made terrible noises when you dragged the chairs out to sit down. These balloons are going to make it hard to eat. Cove placed his bucket on the table as he stared at his still balled up hand that was wrapped around the string. You opened your mouth to agree before an idea hit you. I know! After carefully placing your pretzel somewhere it wouldn't get sandy, you took the balloon dolphin out of Cove's hand and tied it in a delicate bow around his wrist. Ah! Cove bounced his arm up and down in place, testing the stability of your knot. After watching his balloon jostle around but remain attached, he smiled satisfied. Could you help me too? I can't tie it on my own wrist. He repeated the ritual. Cove struggled somewhat with the cast restricting his fingers on one hand and a string already tangled around the other.
Okay.
Got it. Two of you spent a moment admiring your handiwork. Both hands now free to allow for easy munching of your pretzel. You bit into the doughy treat, savouring the taste on your tongue with a smile as you looked out over the ocean. After a time, you finished your pretzel. You were done before Cove. It was boring not having anything to do. You pulled on the string of your balloon to bring it down to your level, then you held the dolphin in your hands, manipulating it to make it look like it was jumping through the air. You turned to face towards the beach, you almost looked as like it was swimming in the waves, like a real dolphin. A laugh came from your side. When you glanced back at Cove, he had left the remaining part of his pretzel on the wrapper and was gripping his dolphin too. Mine's name is Merryweather, he's the prince of the dolphins. Mine's name is Splash, the star in movies. Mine's name is Cherry. She's actually an alien. Mine's name is Sam. They're just a regular dog. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. I like the prince of the alien. You know what? Alien. When no one is looking, she transforms back into her true alien self. She has purple skin and 10 eyes. You sighed, wishing you could meet a real-life alien. I don't know if that's a good thing. What's yours? Cove considered the question, placing the balloon against the table and resting his free arm across it in contemplation. It's... With a loud pop, the dolphin exploded into ribbons. Oh no! Oh no! For a second, all Cove did was gape in shock, like you. Then his cheeks puffed up, squinting his eyes, and you saw tears starting to glisten. Saz, I witnessed it! You made a joke. You offered to find Alexander. You offered to give Cove your balloon. You didn't say anything. He would be alright. I'll find him. Maybe the amazing Alexander is still here. I'm sure he'll give you another one if we tell him what happened. After a long second, Cove gave a tiny nod of his head. I'd take his hand. We shall walk together. You took a hold of Cove's hand. He brought his gaze back down and gripped yours in turn. Two of you wandered up and down the street, but you saw no sign of the amazing Alexander. No! Finally, you were forced to give up. Still, it seemed to lift Cove's spirits, and that was good. The passing of Cove's balloon was the last major event in your adventure. In the end, the two of you headed back late that afternoon. You separated on the beach, and while Cove went straight home with his brand new sand pail in hand, you decided to sit for a while. You watched the waves, the sunset, fiddling with your new keychain. Another summer day was drawing to a close. It had been a good one, except for the sad final note. Oh! Oh no! This balloon popped! Oh, that's so sad! That is so sad. Okay. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Cove, listening to the sounds of the birds chattering outside the window while you lay across the rug on the floor. Cove's dad had dropped him off earlier, and your mums had left the two of you, along with Lizzie, to play amongst yourselves. It had been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, at least according to Mummy, so your sister was starting to get impatient waiting for her golf class that evening. Lizzie has golf class? I'm sorry? How rich are we? God damn. The three of you had trouble finding something to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt that it was too warm for anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly a light came from Lizzie's big brown eyes and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors anyways. They're always inside telling everybody they're too busy to play.
Why?
Yeah, why? That's such a weird thing to... What?
Duh.
I said why. I said it'll be fun. Duh. What do they do inside that we don't? Besides, you use the phone a lot. Excluding a small huff, Lizzie decides to ignore Cove. Okay, what? I mean, he has a point.
What do you think?
Do you think? Do you want to? I bet we come up with something else. Cove said it doesn't sound fun. I don't know. Please, says. When have I ever had a bad idea? The one time you rolled down a hill and fell in a bush. Ooh, wait. Whenever we play with you. Oh! Ooh! Ooh! Oof! Ouch! Yikes! Yikes! I'm just gonna crawl under this table here and hide. I wasn't asking you. Rude. I'll try, but that sounds boring. Okay, I'll stay. Sorry, I've other stuff to do. You kept hesitating. I'll try, but that sounds boring. Not gonna be, I guarantee. Lizzie seemed more determined than ever, and you could only sigh. Satisfied with that neither of you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her options while you watched. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently having settled on something without asking either of you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to be a professional golfer. Saz, you and Cove can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnast, or a tennis player. Well, we know what I have to be, don't we, Doc? Why can't we pick anything we want? Because I have a fun idea, that's why. And we have to play sports as adults? Yep. But there's other kinds of sports too.
Right?
It isn't the same. What do you think, Saz? Don't those choices sound super cool? You want to be that, huh? Shit. Well, I'm just gonna nod. Nod and give in. Lizzie apparently not expecting you to agree after Cove's refusal practically lit up. Really? Which one are you gonna pick? Cove was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking more about it for now. He thought over the list of possibilities. Beach volleyball, gymnast, or tennis? Out of all of them, you prefer to play volleyball. Immediate. I know which one. I know which one I'm picking. You're gonna make me do it anyway. I know which one I'm picking. If you couldn't spend the afternoon at the beach for real, then you might as well pretend you were there. You could even wear your swimsuit and make it seem more realistic, although Lizzie probably wouldn't let you run off and do that now that she had you here. Yes, that was clearly the top option. I guess I'll be a volleyball player.
Alright!
How about you, Cove? I'll have a volleyball team too. Lizzie threw her hands in the air, making an annoyed sound. You guys can't be the same thing, that's not how it works. You didn't say that. The role was picking from the list. You can't keep adding more. Lizzie looked at the two of you, then shook her head, resigned to losing this battle, but not the war. Fine, you're both volleyball players. But you're on the same team because there's only one. Lizzie's ponytail bobbed when she proudly stretched her arms wide. The Olympic team! What? You're Olympic athletes who just competed in the Olympics! Hell yeah, let's go! Woo! Did we win? Cove didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted the glasses on his nose. That's really specific. That's what makes it fun. Anyway, Lizzie marched back and forth in front of the both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I won all gold medals, and people are calling me the next Mikey Wright. What? Who? Also, I think you're just daydreaming. If you've got golf classes. Clearly, your end goal is to be a professional, right? Who's that? Yep. Lizzie stopped on the spot and turned on him, her brown eyes shining with impatience. No matter if you know who she is, it's a golf thing. You guys won medals too. Your team placed at silver. More real if we're not all first place. Ah, you wanted to be the top dog. I'm going to beat you at golf. I'm going to take golf classes and I'm going to be better at you than golf and I'm going to be successful. Fuck you, Lizzie. Silver sucks. I don't want silver. I'm okay with that. Hey, we can do better than silver. Silver's not bad. Nice. We can do better than silver. You pouted at Lizzie, unhappy with the decision. Saz is right.
Sorry.
Lots of people lose at the Olympics. Them's the breaks. Then you're the one who did, not me. Lizzie looked taken back by Cove's declaration as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. Bruh. No way, it wouldn't make sense. I'm already practicing my golf game. She took a golfing stance to make a point, pretending to swing a club and hit an invisible ball. What kind of a house do you want to live in? Cove hadn't changed his mind about winning, but thinking about where he'd live as an adult appealed to him, apparently, because he looked back at Lizzie with some of the anger fading. I'm going to live on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, poking out her tongue. That's kind of boring. We already have that. No, not like the normal houses here on the street. On it. Right in the sand, by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You hadn't even had a chance to choose where you wanted to live. That's not very fun or smart, Cove. You can't live on a bunch of sand and not and shells. But I want to, and I will. Cove narrowed his eyes at Lizzie. Oh god, a fight is about to break out. I'm just gonna go over to this phone that happens to... Oh, the phone happens to be... Oh, and it's connected. Mum, help. Mum, come home. Oh, jeez, Mum, please. Even though she stood half a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking that. Why are we even playing pretend if we can't imagine anything? That's a good point. Yeah, pretend. Why can't we pretend that it's perfectly viable to live on the beach.
Jeez.
Geez, well, I'm gonna live in a mansion far away from here and far away from you. Go to your room. One with an outdoor pool and a place to practice my award-winning golfing.
It's not fair.
How come you were yelling about mine when your day is even more impossible? Lizzie's face flushed red, her hands balling into fists at her sides. It's not impossible, and it's better than yours. Disagreements always seem to crop up when the two of them were together, and you always feel like you're the one stuck in the middle. Mum and Dad are fighting! When it came to the topic at hand this time, you thought you'd prefer a mansion, being on the beach was cooler, you wanted to be with Lizzie, Cove was right. You tried to deciding between either of them. Yeah. But also, Cove has a point. I like the idea of living on a beach, and I kind of always wanted to live on a beach. So, I mean, I think my perfect place to live would be if York was on a beach. If York was a seaside town that had snow in winter. At least. Being on the beach was cooler. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to live on the beach? It'd be really great. You could have windows made from driftwood and seashell wind chimes. Ugh. He smiled slightly over the agreement, then turned to Lizzie with blasted confidence. Oh no, I have set this up for failure. You can swim whenever you want if you live on the beach. We can still swim anytime we want from here where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything. Says you. Two of them scowled at each other. You're being so unreasonable. I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense. It does. You have to be realistic. I said that. But you're not. You had no idea what to make them stop at this point. It seemed like the two of them would just keep working each other up as long as they could. Nothing you'd said so far had kept them from being mad. Thankfully, like a greeting card angel, Mum walked into the room. Lizzie rushed to her, hanging on the hem of her shirt and poking out her tongue at Cove. Lizzie, Saz, it's time to get ready to go.
You alright with that?
Sorry you have to leave already, Cove. Then Mummy said she'll walk you home so you won't be left in the cold. Cove was still glaring at Lizzie, his face flushed red with anger. I can go by myself. But...
Bye.
Bye, Saz. There was still a harsh edge to the brief farewell, but you knew it wasn't you he was mad at. Without giving Mum a chance to stop him, Cove stood up and walked out of the room, shoulders drawn tight.
Huh?
Okay. I can explain, Mum. Lizzie's a bit... Worried, Mum turned to look down at you and Lizzie. What were you... You two were playing nice with our new friend, weren't you? I tell the truth! Fuck you, Lizzie! They were fighting, Cove and Lizzie, for the whole time. Your sister's jaw dropped, looking betrayed as Mum put both hands on her hips. Elizabeth! I told you to be kind to him, he's having a hard time right now. Lizzie's mouth closed back up, replaced by a tiny frown. I know, I tried, but he was... No buts. We both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We're going to apologise to Cove and his dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging a foot across the ground in front of her. Okay, Mum. Good girl. You caught pieces of Lizzie sulking to herself about how it was his fault too, but it was over. Right, we better get a move on.
Let's go.
Let's go, kids. No, Alani. Where did you leave the car keys? Oh, is that our Mum's name? Is that Mummy's name? Oh, damn. That's a fancy-ass name. I'm just going to call her Lani because there's no way I'm going to remember how to pronounce all of it. Mum hustled you all out the door, and you noticed during the car ride to golf practice that Lizzie was quieter than usual. She was always, usually the first one to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say a thing. Your parents noticed she wasn't in a mood to be bothered. They gave her space, and Mummy just asked you what you'd listen to. You picked your favourite song. It always made the car ride more fun. You chose the soundtrack to a cool movie you saw a couple months ago. You chose a song you knew Lizzie liked. Maybe that would cheer her up. Yeah, I'd probably do that. They were both being annoying. Kind of. Lizzie definitely started it by being a petulant child. Quite literally. And being like, we have to play this game that makes no sense and is bullshit and I am the king at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously the best. Ha ha ha, I'm the oldest sort of thing. But he did kind of also then just immediately put Like, I mean, he put his foot down, which is good for him, but then he got a bit petulant himself over it. It was very, yeah. And then they dragged me into it, and I'm like, ha ha, fuck. You're happy to see it brightened her up right away, and she started singing along with you. Hell yeah, I fixed it. So good. Soon enough, her bad mood was a thing of the past. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hour watching Lizzie hit things with other girls her age. You didn't know much about golf, but you could tell that she really liked it. So you sat with your mums and tried to puzzle it out. Wait. Why is she playing golf at like 10? Is she even able to use the golf club properly? It was nice sitting outside after being cooped up in the house all day, and you stretched out your legs and let the last few moments of sun warm your skin. When the sun was finally out of sight, dipping behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your mums took the family out to dinner. You went to a restaurant you had all been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting you hadn't been able to stop, but you could kind of tell that all this helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride home was quiet, with only the radio providing an escape from silence. Lizzie had been in better spirits now, but the closer you got to your neighbourhood, the more she wiggled in her seat and frowned out the window. She knew what was coming when you all got back home. Clearly, she was dreading it. Soon enough, Mum was turning out onto our street and reversing into the driveway. Once she cut the ignition, it was dead silent. Oh god. That kind of... Whoa. No one spoke. Only unbuckled their seatbelts and opened the doors. Lizzie was the last one out. Once everyone was inside and done taking off their shoes, she propped her hands on her hip.
So?
Now then, Mr. Holden's car is in the driveway, so he should be back from work. That's good news, isn't it, Elizabeth? You and Cove can hash things out before the day's done. Lizzie didn't complain or put up a fight. Her head ducked so she didn't have to meet anyone's eyes. She nodded once. Good, let's move this to the kitchen. Mum went over to the house phone, and the rest of you following behind her. Mummy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked side by side. I feel like I should not be witnessing this, because I feel like that'd make it worse. Mummy should take me upstairs and just distract me while this is happening. You watched them from the back. This was only happening because you told on Lizzie. Damn right, I'm gonna tell on her. If someone's being an ass, I'm not gonna hide it from my parents. God. You don't regret it. Felt a little guilty, like you had betrayed your sister. You hadn't liked doing it, but had to. But it was her fault for doing it in the first place. Yeah. One. Being a telltale didn't feel good, but you wouldn't want someone else to tell your mums everything you did. Still, your mum had asked directly, and you wanted to be a liar even less. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a lopsided square. All eyes were on Lizzie, who kept her gaze on her feet. Remember the number of Cove's house, don't you, honey? Lizzie jerked her head in another nod, sullen. Without further prompting, she stepped forward and she began to dial. Mum reached over and pressed the button on the base. Suddenly you could hear the phone ringing. She turned on the speaker. Oh dear. The phone rang a couple of times and stopped. Mr. Holden's warm voice came through on the other end. Evening, Holden residence. Lizzie looked over at Mummy, unsure. She nodded encouragingly. Hi, Mr. Holden. It's, Lizzie. Can I talk to Cove?
Absolutely.
Lizzie? What a surprise! But of course you can say hey to the boy. The boy? That's your son. What do you mean, the boy? Who are you, Kratos? Good lord. He sounded cheery as usual, though definitely meant it when he said it was a surprise. You thought hard, and you were sure that your sister had never called Cove's house before. Mum spoke up before Mr. Holden or Lizzie could say anything more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lips pursed. Hi, Cliff. Noel, Arnie, Saz and I are here too. Good evening, we're sorry to bother you so late. Hi. The gang's all here, huh? Is something the matter? His voice grew a bit concerned. Mummy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but it's going to be okay. Lizzie and Cove got into a bit of a fight today. We were hoping that the two of them could talk and make up. Is this a good time for you and Cove?
What?
A fight? Cove didn't tell me anything about that when I came home. He just explained the funk he's been in tonight. He chuckled lightly, despite that. It didn't seem like he really thought it was funny. Anyway, it's good you didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. There was some shuffling on the other end. He must not have gone far because you could still hear him calling out. Cove, there's someone on the phone for you. After a beat of silence, there was more muffled talking from Cove's dad. Come on, bud. Lizzie called just so she could talk to you.
Are you sure?
Saz is on the other end listening too. Don't you want to say hi? Don't bring me into this, man. Don't bring me into this. I hate being in the middle of arguments. It's so ugh. It's just ugh. It took a bit of back and forth, so the conversation seemed one-sided since you couldn't hear Cove properly. Eventually, Cove took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hello? Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know. Dad told me. I mean, that's fair. Cove's tone was defensive. Lizzie turned to Mom, scowling. One stern look from her, though, and Lizzie turned away.
Sorry.
I just called to say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today. I won't do it again. Lizzie's eyes were downcast, her voice low. You could tell she felt uncomfortable apologising to Cove in front of everyone. But deserved! She was still being genuine about feeling bad. Cove must have realised that too, because he sighed quietly. To be fair though, I do kind of agree that not everyone should have just been there. But from the sounds of it, if I wasn't sat there, I feel like Cove just would not have answered. He would just be like, nope, I'm out. So yeah. Me and Saz should get gold too. Get fucked. Nice. That's right, Lizzie had kept denying you two what you deserved. Lizzie was momentarily stunned silent by this man. She probably forgot that had even happened already. Alright, we all win the gold. Okay, I guess I'm sorry too. He was only going to be sorry if we got gold. A sense of release washed over everyone at his acceptance of the apology. Mum uncrossed her arms while Mummy's shoulders relaxed. Lizzie's eyebrows raised up. You wondered if she thought that he'd refuse her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? You couldn't see him, but it was obvious that Cove felt awkward about the situation. He had come off uncomfortable the entire time, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want. Be sure to say goodbye first, though. Bye, Lizzie. Bye. Bye, Saz. He smiled for me! Fuck you, Lizzie! Oh, Jesus, I'm getting way too into this. You perked up at the mention of your name. You smiled even if he couldn't see it. Bye, Cove. With that said, Cove must have handed the phone to his dad and left since Mr. Holden spoke up.
That's a relief.
All's well that ends well, as they say. Thanks for arranging this. I'm sure he appreciates it. As Mum replied, Lizzie tugged on Mummy's hand to catch her attention. Can I go now too?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologising to Cove. Mum flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie scurried off towards the stairs. She seemed to be feeling much better with the incident behind her. Mum and Mummy returned to the phone, taking it off the speaker. They continued talking to Mr. Holden. You couldn't tell what about. You got that was the end of it all. Lizzie and Cove might not get along, and probably still won't. But they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mum and Mummy weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. That thought you retreated to your own room with a spring in your step. And probably face-planted cushions. Long day. Another scorching summer day, the kind where no sooner had you finished one cup of water, you were already filling it up again. Everyone else had something on, so that afternoon it was just you and Sheila. This didn't happen much, especially since Cove had arrived. Without Lizzie around, Sheila looked to you for all the answers. It made you feel pleased, frustrated, nothing really. I felt nothing. Nothing. Sheila went along with whatever you wanted, so he wasn't a bother. But he also wasn't that much fun. You drained yet another drink and frowned at the empty vessel. Your thirst was gone. you still crave something icy cold and refreshing. Something sweet, something like popsicle, an ice cream cone, an ice cream sandwich. I want an ice cream cone. Ice cream. Nothing beat a classic creamy scoop of ice cream on a day like this. There was nothing like that to be found at home. You knew that without needing to look. Your mums didn't keep sweets in the house. Outside there were plenty of places where such goodies could be obtained, but there were shops and demanded payment in exchange for their products. You sighed. You voiced your predicament out loud. You asked Sheila for help. Sighed. As much as you really wanted that treat, it wasn't going to happen. What's wrong? I want an ice cream cone. Sheila, who had been draped over the sofa, perked up.
Yeah.
That sounds good. We don't have any here and I don't have any money. Oh, let me check if I have any. Sheila rummaged in his backpack and proudly produced an assortment of coins, plus one stray button. You set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles. Just over $1. You announced this to Sheila. He had almost certainly come to the same conclusion, but he'd been watching you expectantly. Sheila, please, put some effort in. Good lord. It's a start. Sheila beamed at you. It's a start. We'll need to find some more. Okay. Two of you lifted couch cushions, stuck tiny hands down deep crevices in the sofa. Oh god, no. Oh, I hate that. And under furniture and scoured the back of drawers. Nah, I would not be able to. Absolutely not. Even the thought of it makes me want to throw up. I hate it. I hate it so much. Most of what you found was useless and gross. No, I'm skipping it. No. Dusty and disheveled from checking every room and squinting into every tiny nook, the two of you finished pooling your finds. Sheila held his breath as you counted the coins once again. $2.53 and 2 buttons. we doubled the amount of buttons we had. You didn't know when the second button had decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out. Is that enough? You figured he knew the answer without looking to you for confirmation, but the thrill of your success and the reward that you would follow cancelled out any other feelings you might have had about them. Yeah! You could now afford something at the shops. Just one thing, but that was infinitely better than none. Philo clapped his hands. Yay! Two of you dashed outside, the promise of sugar buoyed you on to your destination where, breathless but happy, you stared at the overwhelming number of options. You knew what you wanted, but it wasn't just you who had to contribute to the funds to get the treat. He seemed to notice your pause. Aren't you going to get an ice cream cone? Sheila asked as though he was entirely separate from the decision, rather than someone with a stake in the outcome. Do you mind? Sheila cocked his head to the side. It was your idea. You choose. I'm going to try and get something we both wanted, because it was teamwork. It wasn't fair for you to be the only one to decide when he'd be a main factor in making this happen. Some of the money came directly from his backpack. What'd you like? All of them. They're so good. You pressed further. But what do you really like? Popsicles or ice creams? Which is your favourite? Oh, it's so hard to pick. I don't know. Frustrated, you cut to the heart of the matter. You want me to choose? Yeah. That was that. You got the dessert you wanted originally and hoped Sheila would actually like it too. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hands. You laughed at the soft ice cream, the sweetness perked you up. You held it out to Sheila so he could take a turn. He shook his head.
Finish it.
No, Sheila, you're so cute! No! You didn't want any? After everything you did to help you get it? That was weird. You accepted the offer. You tried to include Sheila. You hesitated. No, I will include you. Fuck you. I will include you, Sheila. Even if Sheila said it was okay, every story you've ever seen on TV or read in a book said that sharing was caring. You stood your ground, even as the treat started to trickle dangerously towards your fingers. It's only fair that you have some. We both bought it. But you want it more than I do, and getting to play was a lot of fun already. So you can have it. That's more fair. You held it out to him. I want you to have some, even more than I want to finish it. So eat your part. Relenting, Sheila took the treat and gave it a taste. His eyes lit up. Really good, thank you. Oh, he's so cute. You smiled, pleased with your good deed. You picked the best one. Did he mean that? Sheila was always nice no matter what happened. Even if he hated it, you knew he wouldn't say so. Maybe he thought it was gross and that's the real reason why he didn't want to take some. You had no idea. You studied him as he ate a little more. He had every appearance of enjoying himself. So weird. Two of you began to head back home as he ate. You walked side by side on the shore in silence, but your thoughts kept drifting to the boy beside you. Why didn't he speak up for himself? It was almost as if Shiloh didn't know how to say what he felt, or was too afraid to. Figured it was his problem, didn't care. You scared of me? Thought it was kind of sad. I don't want to ask if we're friends, because I feel like we are friends, and he's just going to be like, yeah, and then it's just not going to answer anything. You scared of me, kid? Shiloh opened his eyes wide, seemingly caught off guard by the blunt question. No way! But you don't tell me things. Like what you want to do, or what treat we should get. That's not because I'm scared, it's because you have better ideas than I do. Unfortunately, this was yet another thing you couldn't entirely believe Shiloh on. You hoped it was true and that he really did feel okay around you, though. Shiloh made you unsure about setting a label on the experience of spending the afternoon with just him. There had been good times and there had been confusing ones. You're positive in one thing. At least, the treat was delicious and that was nice. I like Shiloh. The sun was low on the horizon as you returned to your neighbourhood. There you spotted two very familiar figures up ahead. Lizzie and Cove. Whoa, those two are hanging out together? What the fuck? You opened your mouth to make your presence known to them just as you saw the tears on Cove's face. What? You walked straight over, Shiloh at your heels. What? Once there, you defended Cove, took a moment to make a joke, accused Lizzie of causing trouble, carefully asked what happened. What? Why would I immediately assume it was Lizzie's fault? Was that time machine the only way you were going to find out? Was by asking the witnesses. Lizzie might have done something, but she could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even come to Cove's aid. You wanted to hear the story. Oh, what happened? Saz, I got yelled at. Took a deep, steadying breath. Some grandparents got mad at me. Aw, sorry. Lizzie jerked her head in the direction of a nearby house. Your heart sunk, you knew exactly what had happened. Every year, the same mean old couple rented out that condo for the summer. You, Lizzie, and Shiloh knew to stay away from them, but Cove couldn't have. They're like that with everyone. Even your mum struggled to find anything nice to say about them, but the elderly pair particularly took offence to kids. It didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. Yeah, Lizzie said. Lizzie drew herself up at that. She looked pointedly in your direction. I was helping. That's cool. Is there anything I can do? No, I'm just going to stay away. Or you could teach them a lesson. There was a devilish glint in her eyes. Oh no. Oh no, the rebellious phase. But you should ding-dong ditch them. Go ring the doorbell and run. It'll be great because they're so slow. They'll never catch you. That's dumb. I don't want to go near them ever again.
We're just saying that because you're a chicken.
Shut your face. That's also very rude. Do not do that, elderly people. Guys, don't ding-dong ditch people. Both glared, but it didn't take the bait. Lizzie turned to you. You're not a chicken, are you? Yeah, cluck. You'd rather just avoid them. You thought they deserved worse. I'll do it. Right, yeah, cluck. Fuck you. She can't teach you about being a chicken if you are, in fact, a chicken. You hunched over, folded your arms to form wings, and bat them up and down. For once, your sister seemed at a loss, but it didn't take long for her to regain her usual confidence. Oh, yeah. So you admit it. You continue to flap your arm wings as you circle your sister, clucking all the while. There's no shame in a chicken being a chicken.
Yeah.
You're a chicken. Well, yeah, look at me. Things were not going the way Lizzie expected. She fought against a laugh and looked for a way to restore her serious authority. You and Cove are both little chickens. But yeah, Cove joined in. Hell yeah, let's go. Cove folded his arms, though the one with the cast wasn't as tightly tucked down, and joined you in cheeping around. Hell yeah. It was hard to cluck through the giggles that rose up when you saw him imitating a chicken, but you still both gave a first-class performance. The door to the old couple's condo flung open to reveal one of the culprits behind Cove's tears. You froze, wings raised. Can't you let anyone have a bit of peace and quiet? No. You must not be a fan of the theatre or farm animals, as well as kids. That was the only explanation for his outburst, which was far louder than anything you and Cove had done. Go on, beat it. It was distinctly unfair, but Cove's lip was trembling and you thought it would be best to heed his command. Lizzie took off, with Sheila immediately trailing after her without much as a glance back in your direction. So much for your friendship. Yikes. You waved your arm at Cove, summoning him to follow you, and ran after Lizzie. The old man's hollers propelled you all from the street and to the sanctity of the hill. Only once you were safe did you notice the stitch in your chest and the ache in your legs. You flopped down, the blades of grass tickling your face. Lizzie, who had taken the lead in the end, was already lazing on the ground. Both of you took a moment to catch your breath and enjoy the feeling of cool grass against your skin.
Cove.
Cove lifted his head. I told you there were mean grandparents around here. Cove rolled his eyes, then decided this wasn't dismissive enough and rolled his whole body away from his sister. Mood. Lizzie chose to ignore his response and started chatting to Sheila, who eagerly joined in the conversation. In the back of your mind, you knew you'd be second fiddle again to Sheila once Lizzie came around. It always went like that. I feel kind of bad for... It's going to sound weird. I feel kind of bad for myself. But not like myself. Like the game. Me. Because until Cove came around, it sounds like I got ditched a lot. That's rough, man. And it was fine. You still felt a little sad after how much time you spent together today. And it was always... Nah, sad. You had been hoping the two of you might have become closer, but you had to let it go. He was happy where he was. There were other things to attend to anyway. You wriggled closer to Cove. He had calmed down for the most part and was inspecting the flower. His fingers pinched the stem and tilted the white petals towards him. That's a poppy. Cove glanced at you in acknowledgement and back at the flower. And the type of poppies on this hill have the name white linen poppy. Mum told me. He quirked a smile. That's funny. Ran a finger around the edge of the petal. It doesn't feel like cloth. You'd need a lot of them to make anything. He nodded and released the delicate plant. Evaluation complete. Turns into battle droid. Goes back to the grandparents' house. What did you say to me? This is my favourite kind of flower, but I didn't know what it was called. Thanks. Oh, God, the options! Type your own answer? Because Jesus, Kim. Type my own answer. Oh, hell yeah. Don't capitalize. Oh, well, I mean, you've told me how to spell what I was gonna put, so that's nice. A carnation, huh? Neat. Thanks. What is this shot? This is a very dramatic shot for an 8-year-old. I feel like I shouldn't be looking at this. You moved onto your back with a small smile and looked at the darkening sky. The blanket of clouds reminded you of the thick throw you curled under cold, rainy days. You wondered if clouds would be as soft. They lazily floated on by, splitting from each other, merging and morphing into new shapes. Oh, dolphin. You saw a car. You saw an alpaca. You saw a smiley face. You saw a cloud shape. Dolphin. You saw a dolphin leaping through the sky. You nudged Cove and pointed to it. Look, a dolphin! Cove joined you in gazing skywards. Yeah, I see it. Really? No, but I like dolphins. Thanks, man. Hey! He chuckled at your reaction. So mean. Oh, and it's dark now. All the sun's light faded from the sky and the moon rose higher. Lizzie got to her feet, dusting strands of grass from her bare legs, and surveyed her surroundings. The ocean, visible from the crest of the hill, beckoned with every sweep of the tide. Let's go to the beach. There was no argument from the other two. Sheila was still Sheila, and Cove would never say no to going to the shore. He was a child of the sea. You wanted to go there too? We're too tired to argue. We're happy to do what the others wanted. Objected! Objection! I wanted to go there too. We eagerly joined the others in descending the hill down to the water. We stepped onto the sand for the second time that day, but it felt different at night. The beach was nearly quiet at this hour, abandoned sand castles and footsteps in the sand. Too big to belong to any of you. Wait, too big to belong to any of you, with the only indication of how busy it had been only hours earlier. I help. The four of you kicked shoes off and removed socks and walked along the water's edge. The waves tickled your feet. Feeters. I wonder what would happen if you tried to take a bath in the ocean, with shampoo and everything. It wouldn't go well. All I'm saying. That would be bad for the fish.
Jeez.
I didn't say anyone would do it. Jeez, you don't have to be so serious about everything. You're the one who asked what would happen. This is what would happen. It'd hurt the fishes. I like bubble baths at home. They're a lot of fun. Me too. Both bubble baths are luxurious. I like bath bombs. You'd never heard Lizzie use that word before. Mummy loves to have bubbles in her bath. She'll turn the lights off and have candles. I'm gonna do that next time. Off. Good night. Alright, good night, Mum. Love you. Good night. Hey, when's your mum coming to pick you up anyway? Not for a while. She's busy. What about your dad? How come you never talk about him? Nobody does. Don't you know you're not supposed to ask something like that? Why would somebody want to talk about something they never talk about? Kept your eyes on the ground, watching your toes get swallowed by the sand, by the waves. Even if Sheila never seemed upset when this topic came up, it made you feel awkward just for having both your mums. It's okay. Unlike Lizzie and Saz, I don't have a dad, but I don't have two mums, I just have one. She's really great. Oh, sorry. I only have one now too. My mum isn't here. She's back home. It's just my dad with me.
Sorry.
Aw, I never had a dad or anything, so I don't feel bad. Very sad that your mum is gone. Both nodded. Joke about Sheila's mum getting together with Co's dad. Oh, Jesus. That might be a bit... Woohoo! Even if they're all different, our parents are good in their own ways. Yeah! Let's do that one. Yeah! Both couldn't muster a response. You don't think he truly disagreed, though. Silence broke with a splash of Lizzie's kick in your direction. Cold water and sodden sand splattered against your legs. Lizzie giggled, foot stretched from the kick. Cove joined in, striking the incoming waves to make a splash of his own. Sheila scurried out of Cove's spray zone with a grin. And retaliate. You used your foot to smack the water pooling around you, sending an arc of sea foam flying back at your sister. You laughed as she sputtered, some of the salty seawater having landed in her mouth. She spat it out. Yuck! Lizzie chased you, intent on revenge. Oh god. Oh god. Gosh, it's gonna push me into the ocean. I will never come back. You dashed up and down the coast, taking it in turns to be the predator. My brain just stopped at the predator, and now I'm just imagining them all as the predator. Taking it in turns to be the predator and the prey, as well as joining forces to take down Sheila or Cove. Alliances were silently forged and wordlessly broken. Everything was fair game in war. Ah. Sheila's brief exclamation was drowned out by the biggest splash yet, caused by him falling face first onto the ground. That would have been bad enough without the wave that followed, cascading over his prone body. Sheila sat up, shaking his head like a dog coming in from the rain. As you all hurried over to check on him, his hair was plastered to his head and his soaked clothes clung. If there was any part of him that was still dry, you couldn't see it. That was crazy. Are you okay? Yeah, my foot got stuck and I fell over. Where'd it go, Sheila? So rude. Sheila didn't take your outstretched hand. After a moment, you dropped it. Lizzie was too busy snickering to notice and held her hand up to Sheila too. He reached over and took it. Slowly, he started to pull himself from the ground. Then he slipped on the slick sand, dragging him and Lizzie down just in time for another wave to hit. Man, am I glad that he didn't take my hand now. What were the odds of that happening twice in a row? You thought they must be low. But there's no way Sheila would do something like that on purpose, then pretend it was an accident, especially not to Lizzie. I'm waiting for it to be a plot twist and he just grins at us. Even if your relationship with Sheila felt unclear, he did at least like her a lot. Lizzie was his favourite, right? Smiling boldly, Lizzie extracted herself from the ground and wiped a streak of sand from her cheek. She didn't intend to let this embarrass her. Sheila got up again as well, this time without incident. Still looked like a drowned puppy, but that didn't stop Cove laughing at the two of them. With that, it was time to call it a day. Four of you made the journey back home, leaving a trail of wet footsteps and sand in your wake. Damp clothes may have weighed down some of the group, but your spirits were high. Your arms swung side to side as the cool breeze flowed past. Your mums were outside, chatting to Cove's dad. We're back! Your mum's faces fell as they took in the state you were all in, ranging from messy to soaked. A bit of both.
Now.
Elizabeth, is that all you have to say for yourself? You brought half the beach back with you. Quite impressive, if I do say so myself. They certainly did. What's Marigold going to do when she comes to get Sheila? Is that how you want him to be for the long drive home, cold and filthy? Lizzie's expression turned sulky after the scolding. Being the oldest could be fun, but also meant she was the first to get in trouble when something went wrong. Hell, Mr. Holden, on the other hand, chuckled as he ruffled Cove's matted hair. You've been out making memories, bucko. I'm glad you had a good time with your friends. Cove uses his slightly moist cast arm to push his dad off. Mr. Holden's eyes widened when he noticed even that had gotten wet. Now he's worried too. I think they could have found a less risky way to spend time and had just as much fun. That might be right. Kids, what can you do? Come on, Cove, let's get you cleaned up and dried off. We won't want that cast to have to be reset. Cove winced at the thought. Okay. That a boy. Mr. Holden casually bent down and plucked Cove up off the ground, ultimately holding Cove against his chest. Sand was alright to transfer him from Cove to him. That didn't seem to bother him. Nice. Cove protested being carried, but only got a reassuring pat on the back for his trouble. Rip.
Take care.
Good night, Cove. Thank you for the talk, Cliff. Night, family. Night, and Sheila too. Oh, good night. Resigned to his fate, Cove twisted his body in his dad's arms in order to turn around and wave goodbye. Smiling, you returned a tiny wave of your own.
Fine.
Well, we'd better do what we can to fix you guys up too. Come on, everybody inside. I want you to march straight to the downstairs bathroom.
Ugh.
Yes, Mom. Okay, Lizzie's mom. Don't worry about stopping to wipe your feet on the mat this time. That won't do much good tonight. Sitting on an old beach towel your mummy had found, you waited in the hall until you were less sandy. You weren't allowed to go to your room or walk around the house. But you did get to eat a sandwich for dinner there. It felt like an indoor picnic. It had been decided that Sheila would wash first and borrow some of your clothes. He was already finished and packed away in his mum's car. Miss Fields had come to collect him a little while ago. It was a bit of a funny experience seeing him without that hat on for once. No, I want to see it! Ah, darn. Lizzie, being much more soaked than you, got into the tub next. It wasn't a bubble bath as she had hoped. This was no fun allowed clean-up session. At least that's what she claimed. Not much longer and it would be your turn. When the bath was done, you'd have to go right to bed. After a day like this, though, you were glad there wasn't going to be any further events. Drifting off to sleep sounded like a great idea. Nice. We've only got Sandcastle left. And then considering the time, I think we'll call it there after. So let's have fun with this one. And yeah. Cove wasn't able to do many things that summer. When you, him, and Sheila sat out on the shoreline one bright morning, you could tell he wanted to be in the water. But there's no way he'd be swimming anytime soon, not with his cast. The waves washed a single shelled ashore, glittering and blue. Another reminder of places he couldn't go. From what you'd heard about Cove's old life so far in tiny pieces and fragments, you could tell that he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. Possibilities of what he might get up to made you anxious. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mum and dad. Now he was here, with you and Sheila and Lizzie and everyone else. And he couldn't even go and see. This town wasn't bad, it had all your favourite things in it. But sitting there on the same beach you'd grown up on, you could understand that not everybody else felt the same way about Sunset Bird as you did. Are you excited for the time skip? Kinda? I'll be honest, kinda. Could be interesting. You watched him from the corner of your eye quietly, and he finally said out loud what you'd been pondering. Wish I could go in. The water? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna be able to do it soon. Cove only sighed in response. Apparently soon wasn't soon enough. It's so pretty, the ocean. And huge. There could be anything out there. Like mermaids.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I wish you didn't have a cast. I don't really care. Swimming might be fun if we could. I'm fine here on land. Mermaids aren't real. Yeah, swimming would be fun. But it's not like there's anything we can do about it. Oh, whoops. I made him say it. Obviously not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation, Cove turned back to the water. But as he looked away, something about Sheila's slow, careful movements caught his eye. Hey, are you building a sandcastle? Sort of. I was only playing around while you were talking. I'm listening. Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before. Really nothing special. I'm sure you'll be good at it right away. Well, how do you do it then? Sheila's cheeks lit up. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's unexpected stare on him. Oh no. I play too. I love making sand stuff. I've never really made one before too. There's nothing else to do. I love making sand stuff.
Okay.
He put his hands back to his seashells and sand and nodded. I don't do a lot. Here's how you, no wait, if I could read, that'd be nice. Here's how I like to get a house started. Sheila, focusing more intently than you'd ever seen him, guided Cove through his process. You happily used your own method. It didn't take long for the three of you to each have humble structures prepared. That's all kind of... You can do anything now, like make it bigger, add seashells, carve a pretty pattern. I bet you'll have great ideas.
Okay.
I want to make it bigger. Mine's gonna be a real castle. Oh, it's gonna be a house. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decide to make a house, a castle, a mansion. I wish to build a mansion. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decide to do what Lizzie would do and design a mansion. The better part of the next hour was spent focusing on your own work. Boys were the same. Even Sheila didn't sneak as many peeks at everyone else as he usually did. Oh, nice one. You finished shaping before either of them did, glancing up from what you'd built. It seems you got done so fast because they already searched around for extra decorations. Sheila had grabbed most of the really interesting stuff and Cove had a lot of the shells, but there were still some options. The first thing he reached for was bottle cap, blue seashell, green piece of sea glass. Sea glass, let's go! It was the best fit for your mansion, you decided. It was see-through and sparkly. But you tucked it away somewhere secure inside, barely poking out to make sure it didn't get lost. Pleased with your result, you finally took a proper look around that was focused on the sand itself. Both Cove and Sheila seemed super immersed still. You knew you could probably sneak a peek at either one's work. I want the grand reveal. You instead watched some clouds go by. The silence was then broken. What's on the top of yours, Sheila? You peeked closer and discovered something shiny sticking out of Sheila's sand chimney. Oh, it's just gum wrapper. It looks like smoke.
Neat.
It's good, that's smart. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess I don't see it. You should be an architect. Kinda looks more like a worm. I didn't think of that, there you go. You really know a lot about this. Sheila smiled without a word. And that was that for the current topic. Okay. He was like, yay, praise! So what are you guys doing? Guys, can I see what you did? Sure. He scooted just a bit nearer and began surveying your work. All you really knew about mansions was that they were supposed to be big. And you'd gone really big. It was the size of the country club that Lizzie played golf at compared to Cove and Sheila's buildings. Probably even bigger. Sheila quickly decided to jump in the new conversation. Hey Says, what did you do? I made a mansion. Cove scowled for a moment. Apparently the anger was actually still there from after his argument with Lizzie more than a week ago. Oh no! But just look how cool my mansion is. It's on the beach, just like you wanted. Looks great. Your house is so big. Thanks. You're welcome. I don't think that's the same as a house. Huh? Is being a house bad?
No.
No, but we each made our own place. Nobody is the same. I think we are. Cove raised an eyebrow at that. If something is the only one of that thing, that makes it special. Yeah, for sandcastles and stuff. People too. My dad always says how everybody has their own man, a real individual. Is their own man, a real individual. I don't think I'm very special.
Why?
Why not? Nobody else is you. Sheila simply shook his head. I'm not different. A beat passed between the two. Cove then looked down at his work again. Okay. Didn't seem to be bothered leaving the disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. My dad tried to get me to make sandcastles the first time we came to this beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off again. There was another moment of silence. Sheila shifted and opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. He didn't think he'd noticed that Sheila was going to talk. Hey, do you know what happened when your mums met my dad, Daz? He blinked, not expecting the question. He thought hard. I wasn't there, they didn't tell me. I just remember what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Holden had been a weird stranger then. Well, he was still kind of strange. No, the parent acted like him, but you knew him better at this point. Now that you thought about it, it made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. You were pulled from your thoughts when Cove continued. Oh, well, I was there. I don't think my mom has met your dad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Says his parents and my dad met the same day I met them. I'm gonna say what happened. Sheila frowned to himself, ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell he was upset about not being included in Cove's choice of topic. Oh, that's kinda... Aw. That was kinda boring for him. Though giving people their own turn to say things they want is important too. Oh, I don't like interrupting people telling a story. But Sheila wanted to talk to and look at his face. Sheila wanted to talk to. Huh? We were talking, just not right now. I'm talking to you. He can listen. Sheila's expression barely flickered at the words. He still looked put off. Cove continued like the interruption hadn't happened. He was determined to tell the tale. When we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us, only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get a moving truck. I sat in there while Dad brought it all inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew Dad would make me look around the new house. I really didn't want to do that. Dick twisted into a frown as he recalled that. Then I saw your mums. They were in a car too and stopped at our house. I guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed. He waved his hand, then went over to the front of your house where he started talking to them. I don't know what they said, I couldn't hear it. But he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way. So I opened the car door and left. I wanted to get away and went behind the houses. I found those hills there, the ones where we met for the first time. Cove nodded, then stared at you. You stared back. He didn't go on to say anything more. Okay. Is that it? Cove's brow wrinkled, like he didn't understand why you were surprised.
Huh?
That's all that happened. Okay. Why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? You really gotta get better at telling stories. That was a pretty bad story. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, why did you want to tell the story if nothing happened? It kind of didn't have a point. Interesting. Yeah, why did you force your way into the story if it had no point, bro? Guess what? What's happened, Cassie? What's going on? Hi. Hi, Cassie. But that was how our parents met. It didn't make the story. I didn't make the story up. That's not really my point. Cove just was not understanding the issue here. Theo's mouth twisted into a scowl of disbelief, but he said nothing. Why'd you bring that up anyway? There was a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders.
Well...
I was thinking about it because of the sandcastle. It made me remember when I moved here. Dad showed me the beach first before we went back to the car to unpack. I was really excited about it for some reason. Cove's brows furrowed a little more as he quietly raked his hands through the sand. I get it. He thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach and was instead hoping Cove might be. But the line of conversation had come to its end. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped into his head. Philo fidgeting uncomfortably in the sand had made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other and you could only wonder what this might be about. Hey Sheila. Yeah? Why are you always turning so red? Even when nothing is happening? Clearly startled, he jerked back. Neither you or Sheila had expected that to be how he got included in the conversation again. I mean, that's true. I don't know, I guess. Okay, it's kinda weird. Sheila's eyes were wide with embarrassment and his lips twitched, and he was blushing even harder than before. Maybe it wasn't only this. Perhaps it was simply the last straw, but it was a big deal to Sheila. A huge deal. He didn't just look sad, he seemed almost panicked. You weren't sure if he was about to cry or run away or what, but you soon got an answer. Why do you wear glasses? Most kids don't wear glasses, and nobody is named Cove.
Who asked you to come?
Oh, jeez! Yeah, Sheila! Stick up for yourself, bud. Stand up for yourself. It's probably just your dad's bugging says his family some more because you don't have anyone else. Oh, no, Sheila, you can't say that. Sheila, you can't. No, Sheila. No. I get why you're angry, but oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Both blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't know how to even mention. It didn't seem like the kind of thing he'd get upset about, though you hadn't ever known what kind of thing would bother Sheila. I'm sorry. Me too. I was just wondering. Let's build in a sandcastle. Try to play on your own. Are we going to build more? I'm just going to mess with the sand. This is awkward. You picked up some sand and turned it over in your hands. There didn't seem to be much you could do to stop the fight, and you weren't sure of what to do with yourself. Cove looked over what you were doing and started building his own set of walls. Sheila took a breath before kneeling back down to his own patch of sand. Seemed both decided to try playing again. You were glad for that. You all went back to making more sand buildings, but the whole mood had changed. Sheila's cheeriness was clearly gone, and Cove looked as confused as ever about why the other boy had blown up. It made sense. Boy needs to stand up for himself more. And if this is how he starts, good on him. But also, Jesus, you can't say that. The air stayed uncomfortable for the rest of the afternoon, right up to the moment that Sheila's mum appeared at the beach to take him home. Cove and Sheila had mostly followed your lead and barely said a word. His mum standing behind him, even Sheila's goodbye had been quiet. Friendly, cheerful, but noticeably quiet. But with Sheila gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head to your own houses. You followed him as he made his way out of the sand. The walk home was quiet, passed by familiar landmarks, shoes thumping against the sidewalk in near-perfect unison. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. I'm just gonna say so. There was no way you could ask, not with that look on his face. But a minute or so later, he spoke up anyway. Hey, Saz. What? Cove fell silent again for a few more seconds and sighed. Why'd Sheila act like that when I said he was all red a lot? You're being rude, he's just being a baby, you shouldn't make fun of him. I don't know, it's just Sheila, he gets embarrassed. He gets embarrassed, I guess, because that's accurate. Embarrassed, but I didn't say anything that bad. It might have upset him anyway? I guess, I can't get it. No, I can get it. Why he would do that. Sometimes I get really mad too. Despite seemingly coming to a conclusion, Cove's mood was still sour. Hey, Saz, was Sheila telling the truth? Huh? His gaze left yours as he dug the sole of his shoe in the ground. He looked oddly vulnerable for a second. Does my dad make you hang out with me? I know he talks to your mums about that a lot. An uncomfortable weight settled in your chest at the question. You like spending time with Cove. You didn't even have to think about it. You knew you did. But you couldn't help feeling guilty. Cove still didn't know what happened when you met Mr. Holden. Nobody's making me spend time with you. I mean, that's truth. All of them are technically truths, but this one's the truth. Cove's shoulders relaxed. You hadn't even noticed that he had tensed up. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Anyway, I didn't think you were just pretending. I just wanted to make sure it was okay, is all. Thanks for telling me. Your throat tightened. It was hard to meet Cove's earnest gaze again. Keeping secrets was hard. Yeah. By now, the two of you were on the sidewalk near your houses. It was time to part ways. I'm a hugger. I'm not, but I also am. If I know someone well enough, I'm a hugger. You stepped forward and wrapped your arms around him tightly. You turned your head, resting your cheek on his shoulder. Cove stood there awkwardly with his hands at his side. He wasn't much of a hugger, but you didn't get the impression he was unhappy that you were. Bye, Cove. See you tomorrow. Yeah, bye, Saz. You pulled away, then jogged towards your house. When you looked back, you saw Cove making his way back home too, as if he felt your eyes on him. He turned around. He waved. You did too. You still felt a little unsure with what you were supposed to do about the deal Cove's dad had offered. You didn't want to say something bad or something you shouldn't. You had no idea how Cove would take it either. It would be horrible if it made him feel bad. What if he didn't want to play with you anymore? You might change your mind sometime. There was always tomorrow after all, but for now it was definitely something that you'd keep to yourself. It went so differently when you played. What did you pick? I'm curious now. You've got me curious. With a final look, you went inside your house. Oh, and that is it. Save it preemptively, but I also kind of want to click this because I think there's going to be a thing and then a time skip, which would be interesting. Yes. I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your mum's, Lizzie, and Cove as the five of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. Called him out for being rude to Sheila. Ah! What? They were kind of rude to each other. I didn't know. I was like, huh? And I told him about his dad. Oh, see, I would, but I feel like that would have just made it worse in that moment. You know? Not necessarily something I have to tell him. Because it's not what keeps us, like, it's not why we hang out, you know? So, you know. Anyway. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we are so dull. Let's get out more. He didn't do real magic, Mum. Oh no, there's no correct way. Nice. Good to know. How did you figure that one out? Because I know, that's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie dear, there's all kinds of magic out in the world. Lizzie gave Mummy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The process was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. We have to keep playing before it's do it. It is almost over. You put on your best puppy dog eyes. Puppy dog eyes, let's go. Oh, don't look at me like that. Like what? Please. Like what? I say, giving her the eyes. Mother, I will not go back, I swear. Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot on the ground. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. Well... Oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
Hell yeah! I was right. She's the stern one and she's the happy-go-lucky one. Oh yeah. For as soon as dinner's ready, you lot are coming inside, understood? Yes, Mum. Yes, Mum. Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. Sent him a small smile, which he returned. Cove gave a non-committal shrug to your mummy, which she took as an agreement. Hell yeah. Ah, so much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get the seashell bracelet, beans and trinkets. Ooh, or maybe the playground. Or the fireflies will probably be coming out, right? Don't I get a say in this? You silently made your own plans. We can't go too far. I'm going home. Can't go too far. Lizzie pouted at you as you pointed this out. Mum said to be back in time for dinner. It won't take that long.
I know.
Well, I'm just saying. Jesus. Strongest wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself.
Rude.
Doesn't the wind know that someone's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mother's had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most of tomorrow. He thought this over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cove was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. The beach, obviously. Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but to return. He made a little gesture that you interpreted as, "Follow me," and then started heading to the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something you quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed out into the water. You were impressed over how far it got to go. It sailed way out to the sea. Whoops! Whoa! What just happened? Did I just pick something by accident? It was a good toss. That's pretty neat. Okay, apparently I picked an option. What are you doing? Nothing, really. You tilted your head, wondering over the sudden pensive look on his face. Just thinking. Well, what? Cove was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. When'd you get it off? Cove shrugged and didn't say anything. For a second you thought maybe he didn't know, but finally he sighed. A few weeks. That is a while away. Didn't think a few weeks was that bad. That's not very long at all. It wasn't too bad, you thought. Then at least he'd be able to play normally at recess. And you sometimes got to go swimming during school year. Maybe he could make it up for last time then. Cove let out a huff, plopping down on the sand. Can't believe summer's almost over. Sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it will be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool, you're going to like it. Everyone's super nice. I've only ever been to the one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Cove shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realised that his eyes were wet. Oh, he's crying again. I'm not good with crying, kids, to be honest.
I want to go home.
We can walk down the road? You'd never have to move before, but you thought you could understand if you had to go to a new school all of a sudden. With all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. Cove gave his head a small shake. Saz, please. That was such a dumb thing to say. No, I want to go back home. Right, Cove wanted to go back to his old home. The one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt this sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. You settled back down in the sand, trying to consider what to do. You hate it here? Cove's brow furrowed even more. Then he shook his head. You felt a rush of relief fill you. Yay, friendship! You liked having Cove here. It would be sad if he'd been miserable the whole time. You're not going to leave, right? You'll still be around? The question was a little surprising. Of course. Yeah, your parents would have mentioned if you were going to move or something, right? After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You were fine with him changing the subject again. Okay. You had to say swimming did sound fun, even if it was already getting chilly out. Cove smiled, then looked back at the waves. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'd feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. He sped a glance over at Cove, and saw that anger had slipped off his face in favour of something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all, as long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. You could remember a long time ago when you'd first started going to school. You had absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for the most of the day, to listen to strangers tell you what to do and sit with kids you'd never met before. Things changing is hard. I'll make sure you do. Hell yeah, friendship. Cove laughed just a little, but you grinned, proud that you were able to drag one out of him when he was obviously feeling down. Even still, a second later his eyes got a little misty once more. You got a feeling that there were different tears than the ones from before, though. I hope next summer I'll surf and go exploring and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You gave a little nod, resting your head on your own knees. Two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You hoped that Cove would be able to accept this place as a new home. You definitely tried to help in what ways you could. There were so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't seen yet. Austin thought you started a bit when you heard a faint familiar sound. The sound of your mum shouting your name. Looked over your shoulder, realising it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off yourself. Your mum's calling, it's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expression screaming reluctance. Yet ultimately... Okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Thanks. It was nice. Wait, you were right. Wait, brain shut down, help. It was nice. Where you were right then. Oh, okay, right, okay. I thought I'd read that wrong and my brain just shut off. But the two of you couldn't stay there in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Oh. In between? Mark? Oh. My appearance. It wants me to change my appearance. I want to stay round. I'm just very cute, very round. Oh, there's more just options. Acne! So many freckles. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, natural progression, baby. Let's go. But yeah, we're at the time skip. I think it'll be good to do it in 4 parts. If there's 4 steps, then 4 parts. So we finished childhood. Right? We've finished childhood, and next it would be... what's the word? What is the word? I have absolutely forgotten. Next is adolescence. So is it? Adolescence, then young adult, then adult, right? Yeah. So we're teenagers. Guys, we're a teenager. We're a teenager, guys. Excellent. But yeah. Right this moment, I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube. And then... I guess after that, it'll be goodbye to Twitch. But yeah, YouTube. Let me know if, you know, if it was fun. If it was enjoyable. My brain malfunctioned half the time, but otherwise it was fine. I actually really enjoyed that. I wasn't sure what to think of it, but definitely interesting. Yeah. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Bye 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 bye.